guys, and welcome to this lesson. Today we're going to talk about how to link within your own page. So this time, a few lessons back, we learned how to when you click a link, it will definitely take you to a new tab. However, this time, what we want is when you click within the same page, it will definitely take you at some point within your page, wherever you want to go. Okay. So for example, if instead of me just coming down, like scrolling down and stop here on the number 7, title 7, I just go up and click on this link, title 7, and then it will take me right here. Okay. Just keep in mind the reason did not stop like here, like in this top of line, is because there's no more content down there. So, why do you want to do this? Well, sometimes in your page, you probably want to add a whole bunch of questions with answers, and you don't want the user just to scroll down and read each question, and you just want to show them like, hey, look, this is the content of my page, and whenever you want to go, just click here, we will take you there. So when you click here on title 6, will definitely take you to title 6 or question number 6. Okay, so that's one reason to do this. So let's start. The first thing that we're going to do is just open a new file on Sublime and just HTML and just type the following, which is HTML. Then, of course, we have the head tag. We just closing the head tag. And finally, we have the body tag. And close the body tag. So right now I'm just going to save the file just to give it some colors. I don't want this to be just white and black. And I'm just going to save it as, I don't know, let's say links within that HTML. Okay. So I'm just going to click save. And there you go. So now I have black and red and white, because this is white. So how do we start? As you guys can see here, we have a list. Okay, you do not need a list of things. You just can have thing without this thing here. Okay, but if you have a list, would be much better. So I'm just going to click here and just create an order list. Okay, and just going to type title 1. I am missing something, but you will see it now. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is a list. Yes, we have a list. However, this is a list of link. Okay, so let's add a link with it. So this is the A tag, and we close the A tag. Did I close the A tag? I did not close the A tag. So now, as we mentioned before, we need something here for the link, which I hope you know by now, which is the edge reference. Okay, and just for now, we are going to type what we're calling today, at the moment recording this video, a hashtag. Okay, or the key pound. And I'm going to do the same thing. How many times? Probably 10 times. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever many times is that. That's fine. Then I'm just going to change the numbers. This is 3. This is 4. And this is 5. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oh, look, I put more than 10. That's fine. All right, and I'm just going to save my file. Right, so let's go back to my PowerPoint here. So what we have so far, we have a combination of a tag and the list elements. So we have them together, working together at the moment, but we're missing something. And what we're missing is the ID attribute that will allow you to take you straight specific to where we want to go. In this case, when we try title 6, that's where we want to go. So the ID help to go directly to title 6. Okay, we're gonna get into that. So what is an ID attribute? Well, the first thing that you have to know about the ID attribute is like it have to be unique because it's an ID, right? Like nobody has the same. I'm not gonna say date of birth because date of birth is not an ID, but your state ID, okay? The number of your state ID, right? So it have to be unique. In this case, we are going to make it work, title 1, title 2, title 3, so it could be unique. Also, one one thing that you have to know is that you can use class attribute. Okay, we're gonna be working with classes more often, and an ID attribute basically they do the same. However, on the class attribute, you can have more. You can use the same class for many. To you can assign the same class to many tag, but you cannot use the same ID for every different tag. Okay, that will make sense in a while, in a few seconds. So let's go ahead and see how basically the a tag it should look like. And this is a new title, but we're gonna put in practice right now. Let me just put this down. All right, so here I have a whole bunch of content. I am not going to write it down, so I have it here. So I'm just going to copy all this thing here up to here. And I'm just going to add it here. Okay. So what did I did? As you can see, this is an ID here. So I'm assigning the ID to what I want the link to land when you click on it. So for example, here I have ID title 1. So I'm going to call this title 1, right? So as you guys can see, let me just the other one. So title 2 and so on. So this is a title here. Let me go to the 6 just to put us in sample here. I'm adding the ID. I want the page when you click on title 6 to land on top of this title 6. And so I am adding the ID to the H1, which is my title in this case. I do not want to add the ID here, not because it's not gonna work, just because if I click on title 6, instead of stopping here in this line, as you guys can see, it would probably stop here. And I don't want that. Okay? So just to be safe, and of course, just keep in mind as well that probably because if you make this while and you don't have enough content, it doesn't mean that it will definitely stop exactly what you want. Because for example, if I click on title 7 here, you see that it did not stop on 7, but just because there's no more content down there. Okay? So I'm just assuming that everything will be perfect, like everything will be lined up. You will have a container. By the way, we're going to talk about container later. So you will have like a really nice stretching container, and everything we fixed there, and everything look perfect. Okay. So this is why I'm adding my ID right there on the H1, which is the title. Okay. So now, as you can see, my ID, I just give it the name, which is unit, and you can just repeat the same process for this, just adding the title here over and over up to 10. Okay. Um, One thing that you have to know is that you can definitely add a class here. That's totally fine for this. This is the class attribute. We still want to do a lot of things with this attribute later in this course. And also you can definitely add another class attribute here, and you can keep even add like title one. You can do the same thing you want because they're different. This is class and this will be the ID. So you will see how they work later on this course. And of course, you can use, if you want to make it blue, you can use as many classes as you want. Um, what else do we have to know about this? Yeah, nothing else. Just keep in mind again, it's not going to be perfect just because it depends on how much content you have to show. And again, if I want to click on the number 9 and he's the number 9, but because I don't have everything more, I don't have a lot of more content down there, it will definitely stop there. And yes, basically that says this is, yeah, this is all for this lesson. Let me see if there's anything else that I have to show you. Um, you will see this a lot in this course, which is Lorem IP some whatever that means. This is a content. This is a dump content. I think this is how they call it. But in order for you, you can get this type of test. If you go to google.com and you just type the word Lorem, and the first one, this one right here, it will generate, and you just can just copy from here this. So, again, if you are creating a website for your clients, you don't have to wait on them, until they send you all the content. Honestly, you just can put this, what they call dump test, and you just can like copy and paste that there. It is totally fine. You don't have to freak out because again, you can change this thing later, and this is how this thing basically work. Okay, I will see you in the next lesson.